Hi, Misha here, and we've kind of alluded in the last couple of videos we're going to be taking a little break. It might have something to do with the fact that it's 102 outside right now. Yeah, the second half of July is brutal here in the south. However, a rifle that several have asked us about came in, and it is going to dip down in the temperature tomorrow, so we think we're going to be able to get out and shoot it. But as always, we like to do kind of two-part videos with new guns. The first one is a preview looking at the gun itself, features, magazine compatibility, and talking about any kind of history, mechanical differences we can. So, we're going to try to get these videos done before our break because a lot of people asked, and we sincerely care about and appreciate you all. As always, if you could, please do like, share, subscribe, and help over on Patreon right now especially is greatly appreciated. And with that, with no further ado, let's check it out. Just came in. On top, we have a manual. It does manual things. And we have one steel standard magazine. Set it down here so it doesn't roll under the foam. We have it. A Century Arms Romanian Cugir WASR-3. This is something that Century announced at SHOT Show, but has been in limited supply. Honestly, I've been a little uncertain if we would see these and in what quantity. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking about it myself again, unboxing it, checking it out. Here we go. Essentially, this is a Romanian WASR-10, but whereas the WASR-10 is chambered for 7.62 by 39 and accepts standard AK mags, the WASR-3 is chambered for 5.56 NATO, 5.56 by 45, 223 Remington if you prefer, and accepts these Romanian versions of the German Uyghur mag. And so, magazine compatibility could be quite interesting. But let's get it out of the box and see what features we have. Alright, here it is with the other side and the mag in it. We have this typical Century hang tag. Chamber flag. Funny fact, if this is how it came without a protector on the charging handle, I found the protector, the little kind of rubber condom, just loose in the box. It's almost as if they forgot and threw it in last minute, but didn't put it on the gun, so, oh well. Pretty standard Romanian gun. Just in the NATO caliber, which frankly right now, given the relative scarcity of 7.62 by 39 and uncertainty of imports from the former Soviet Union, yeah, I can understand why there's more interest. So, what are the features of this here critter? This is an AKM derivative. In Romania, the AKM was produced under license as the PM63. That was the fixed stock. And the AKMS, the underfolder, was produced as the PM65. Now when it came time for them to switch from 7.62 by 39 there, they went to their own variant. People often call it an AK-74, but it wasn't, even though it was chambered for 5.45 by 39. It was really just a scaled down AKM. That became the PA-86. And it featured a side folding stock, the wire poker. It also featured a 22mm muzzle device up here. We've looked at it before. Check out the videos on the SAR-2 that we've done time and time again. After that, they would actually introduce a version in 7.62 by 39 known as the PM90, which was basically the folding stock, the side folding stock version of the PM63 with the sugar scoop brake on it and a few other minor updates. And then after the disillusionment of the Warsaw Pact, the collapse of the USSR, Romania started offering a variant in 5.56 by 45, 223. We used to call it the PM97, not as an Army designation, but as a Cugir factory designation. I don't know if that's still valid or not, and I say that because we don't know a lot of names for Romanian guns that aren't common here. We do know that one has been made over the years, but it's been primarily for export. But that would lead to the first semi-autos. I don't believe anything came in before the SAR-3s in 1999. I could be wrong on that, but I do remember the SAR-3s very clearly. That was a ban-era gun. And it would give way to the WASR-3, which was imported from about 2003 to about 2013. And that's why people are kind of excited about these. For the first time since 2013, we have new WASR-3s coming in here. So, pretty good, and pretty good timing given the ammunition situation. Although we might have a mag situation. Since this is based on the AKM, we have a standard stamped 1.0 mil receiver. We have a forged front trunnion. We have the dimpleless receiver, which is common to all WASRs. Takes standard buttstocks, standard pistol grips, standard handguards. This is the furniture it comes with. These are Romanian handguards. I'm not sure the origin of the wood on this stock. It doesn't have a cleaning kit compartment, so it's definitely a commercial stock, although we do have a sling swivel. These come in with thumbhole stocks. Century puts on the pistol grip and buttstock here. And of course they add parts for compliance. The US parts would seem to be pistol grip, trigger group, that's 4, muzzle device, 5, and then we'll crack it open in a minute, but I presume the 6th part will be piston, because it doesn't seem to be part of the magazine. Anyway, standard rib top cover, standard charging handle, although it is a smaller diameter than some, and a little bit farther sticky out, which is kind of belying its P86 connections. Standard length gas system. Interestingly, we have a standard 45-degree gas block. I say that because some pictures of the select fire guns, and to the best of my memory, even the SAR-3s had more of a vertical gas block. No bayonet lug, but it does have the block, so you could re-weld the wings. Pretty standard modern cast front sight base, and it is threaded 14x1 left hand with a removable device. Notice there is not a cleaning rod under the barrel, but there is a hole for it, so you could put one in. No problem there. Good on Century for not giving us a cleaning rod. The barrel is 16 1/4 inches, 415 millimeters long, cold hammer forged, 1 in 7 twist. Is it chrome lined? Again, this is just first impressions. I don't know. Some say yes, some say no. The older ones were, but I'm not sure if these newer ones are. Standard adjustable rear sights, yada yada yada. Flipping her over, we have of course the front sling mount here. Markings. Note the date, 2019. That means these came in, or at least were manufactured before the CUF. Meaning this project has been underway at Century for some time. That's not uncommon. By the way, yeah, the Romanian guns typically either have a 2 or 4-digit date code system. Typical phosphate finish. No, this isn't a used gun. This is directly from them. Yes, Romanian guns often have scratches, wear and tear, yada yada yada. We do have a scope mount on the side, which is nice. And then we're back to the buttstock. Again, standard AKM style. So, pretty standard gun, pretty standard WASR. The absence of a bayonet lug and cleaning rod is a bit irksome, but not, frankly, surprising given everything else. It's a shame they don't come with extra magazines, though, because this does take a relatively specific type of mag. And with that, yeah, let's talk about magazine compatibility, because if we're going to try to shoot this, I need to know which mags we can try it out with at the range, and I don't want to pack a bunch of mags that won't work in it. For input purposes, to comply with the 89 and 98 restrictions on rifles to make them sporting, these come in as single stackers and then are cut out here to be double stack. I will say, Century is getting better over the last several years, cutting these out. This is actually very well done. Yeah, I can run my finger around the edge. No real burrs or sharp edges at all. A little bit of a burr back there. Nothing major at all. Yeah, they actually did a really good job of opening this particular one up. Your mileage may vary. The magazines that Romania uses, yeah, like I said earlier, are copies of the German Uyghur mags, 30 rounds, steel, based on the AKM, just kind of scaled down. And that's great if you can get them. During the assault weapons ban, 94 to 2004, because these mags were not pre-banned because they didn't introduce their 223 AKs until after 94, what Century did so they could ship the SAR-3 with the high cap mag, they took older AK-74 mags and they put a new follower in them and slightly reworked them. These would be the Bakelite ones to fire 223 instead of 545. They had mixed reliability results and actually kind of gave the SAR-3 a bit of a mixed bag name. The first WASR-3s came with these converted AK-74 mags, but after the end of the assault weapons ban, they started shipping the WASR-3 with these mags, but originally they shipped them with two. And originally you could pick up the Uyghur mags relatively cheap. Unfortunately, now Romanian mags are quite spendy and German mags are very spendy. So let's do a little mag fitment testing, see if we can get to work in this. Because of that history, let's start off with the old school Bakelite mag. Typically the ones Century converted were East German because they were guaranteed to be pre-94 ban. Because of YouTube right now, I'm going to have to insert this off camera, but let's see how it goes. Alright, somewhat interestingly, it's a no-go. And if this is, it looks like a different mag from what you just saw, it is. I actually tried 3 different ones I had to hand, and none of them will go. The problem is in the back here. This area, because it is Bakelite synthetic, is thicker than will fit in this rear part back here. Now, could you file a mag to fit, or maybe open up the mag well? Perhaps. But again, even when you converted these Bakelites, the reliability was never fantastic, and since Bakelites today are also expensive, not sure why you'd want to do that. So, okay, out of the box, Bakelite is a no-go. Let's try a Romanian 545 steel mag. These are very similar to the Polish. I think I grabbed a Romanian versus a Polish. Either way, Romanian Polish. And see if this will fit. Again, this is 545, but maybe you could get the follower. Let's see if it pops in the mag bow. Alright, so that's snapped in, no problem, and actually fits quite well. Yeah, that went right in, no wiggle wobble at all. Now, that's not to say these will feed reliably. I'm just saying they will go in the mag well quite reliably. So, I don't know how common the Polish or Romanian steel 30-round 545 mags are, but that could be an option for you if you could put a good follower in one. I might throw one in the range bag tomorrow and test it out. We'll see. And yeah, edge to edge, this is much thinner back here. I can even feel it with my fingers, so yeah. Okay, well, these are older mags that are potentially collectible. Let's try some newer things that are on the market, see how they do. From one of my favorite guns, the Polish FB Radom Beryl mag, the modern translucent as if you couldn't see that. Well, I can't see it, but anyway, let's see how it does. As I kind of expected and feared, it's a hard no-go. It really doesn't even catch in the front. The lug's not the right shape. In the back, it's way too big. I was also going to try WBP Polish mag, but if this won't fit, the WBP won't because it's even thicker. So, could you scale one to fit? Maybe, but I would be hesitant to remove too much material from these because they're not metal reinforced, and that's not a problem. I've had some of my mags over 10 years, but, you know, I wouldn't do a lot because it seems like the feed lips are part of the issue. So, yeah, that's a hard no, unfortunately. And I have a feeling the next ones will be too, but since they are common, if expensive, let's try out Bulgarian Arsenal Circle 10 mags. I brought out both because they are actually different. Look at the front. Look at the front here. So in other 5.56 guns, we've had some work and some not, and it can vary from mag because of their differences. Alright, let's try it out. The front lug fits better, but it's a hard no-go in the back here. Not even close with the translucent. What about the solid? And same, if not even worse. So, without modifications, these won't work. At least the Polish mags are relatively cheap. I mean, for 223 5.56 AK mag, you're looking at $30-35 new. These tend to be, well, more. These are up to $50 new, and these are up to 40. So I wouldn't go hacking on them. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. Let's try another one, even though I'm not really thinking this will work. Let's try the modern Zastava mag for the M85 M90. It's pretty thick too, but you never know. One thing I will say is at least Zastava, like Cugir, based their gun more on the AKM AK-47 than the AK-74. Again, a no-go. Now, interestingly, it almost seems like this mag is too long front to back to fit in this mag well. Not by a huge amount, mind you, but just enough where it won't go. And these mags aren't super compatible. I wonder if the steel Zastavas would work, but unfortunately at the moment I don't have any to try out. I have a suspicion that the Zastava magwell is just a little too long to be the same as this. Okay, I have one more I just want to try out and see if it'll fit. Just for fun, an IMI, today IWI, Galil mag. At least it is 223 5.56 caliber. Let's see. Not even close. I can't even get it started. This is way too wide up here. It's just dimensionally not gonna happen. Okay, so the only one that really fits is the Romanian steel PA86 and hope, you know, by extension the Polish Tantal, but only the steel. And of course those are 5.45, so would probably need modifications. I don't have any Chinese 223 5.56 mags. There are two types anyway, and those are super expensive anyway, so not really a point. I think that's all the 223 type mags I have for the AK, and I think we've kind of made our point. But it's something I was curious about, and a lot of folks have asked about as well. So magazine compatibility is not looking fantastic. But with that, let's look under the hood while we're here on the table. Comes apart like any other AKM, AK-74, AK-47. Press in, pop off. And that's our group here. Again, because we're on YouTube. Be right back. Top cover looks standard. Recoil spring, standard. And yeah, and I guess I'm going to say this is a US gas piston because it's not got the wiggle wobble to it that usually a factory one does. Could be wrong, guys. Again, first look. One thing I wanted to point out, the bolt does not have a spring-loaded firing pin. So, one, clean the grease, the Cosmo, it does have thin Cosmo or heavy grease on it, out, just to make sure there's no stickage. And if you're using ammo that has light, sensitive primers, being mindful of that. I wouldn't suspect it would give a major issue, but in the past, AKs in this caliber have given problems. That's why most you find today have a spring there. The lever for the gas tube was easy to move, so here's your gas tube coming off. Nothing special there. And our barrel here. Let's look inside while we're at it. Again, US trigger group. And I put the mag in just to show you the feed angle. Standard feed ramp there. Rear sight. And there's our barrel. That's how thick it gets. It's pretty standard, frankly. Modern style flat top gas block. Again, a very standard gun, guys. Just in the NATO caliber. Comes in greasy. Standard AK controls. Standard phosphate type finish. Just checking out the rivet work. It's fine. A little bit of flat top, but again, rivets are meant to hold, not do that. And also the side receiver, that's no big deal. They actually do weld-in plates to reinforce that area. The whole reason for the mag weld dimples, it's not really to keep the mag from wiggling. This one doesn't wiggle. It's actually to reinforce the receiver in between the riveted areas. Because when you bend steel, it actually makes it stronger. That's actually why the top covers are ribbed. The earlier smooth top covers and the later ones are actually heavier steel. They were able to get away with thinner steel in the AKM by ribbing it for our pleasure. But yeah, when you do move steel like that, it makes the area stronger. So that was the primary reason for the dimples. So them putting little plates in there, it's fine. It is fine, guys. Alrighty, let's get her back together, have some final thoughts, and then hopefully get to the range. Went back together, no problem. Again, sorry for all the cuts in the video. Part of it is I'm here by myself. Part of it is YouTube right now. It is the way it is. You know, the positives, it is firing a caliber that will be available in America. But the negative, the mags. I think the mags are going to be the big hang-up. And it only comes with one. And I haven't seen where you can buy extra Romanian mags. At least not as of July 20th. So take that for what you will. I think that could be the big hang-up here. On the other hand, since it does take standard furniture, that's no problem. As for the barrel, I'm happy that unlike a lot of the older well, pretty much all the SAR-3s were not threaded, and some of the WASR-3s weren't. I'm happy this is threaded, and not just threaded, but threaded a common pitch. Some of the WASR-3s were threaded a bizarre pitch. But no bayonet lug, that's not a big deal. And it shouldn't bug me, but it kind of bugs me that there's no cleaning rod. An AK without a cleaning rod, I don't know. But of course you can put one in, and a standard rod will fit, I presume. I don't know that they scaled it down for 223 enough to matter. At the very least, a PA86 rod would go in. And we do get a scope rail, so that's nice, and it should be a standard rail. The trigger on mine's a little kind of sticky feeling. Probably will break in worst case it's a US part anyway, so put a different one in. So what do you think? Does this interest you, or would you rather stick with 7.62 by 39? Being honest with you, we mostly acquired this one because people asked, but we were curious too. You know, we've tried out a good number of 5.56 AKs recently. The Arsenal the Arsenal SAM 5. Of course, we've had the SA RPK 5 for a number of years. The SLR 106 we've talked about many times over the years. Of course, various Galils, various Zastavas, the M85, the M90. The 223 AK really is kind of picking steam up in America, but the magazines are always been its Achilles heel, because we're with the AK-47/AKM, there's a standard mag, and even with the AK-74, there's a standard mag. Because each country kind of did their own thing for this caliber, there is not a standard mag. Now, some guns are kind of cross-compatible. For example, those Polish mags often work in different types. I'm a little surprised that none we tried aside from the 5.45 steel worked in this, but it's kind of halfway what I was expecting, because these are their own weird thing. The Romanian army isn't using a 5.56 AK. They still issue their 5.45 PA-86s, and there's talk of them going to something newer. They purchased some AR-15s in recent years, but I think they're going to the Beretta ARX-160 if memory serves. So they will eventually be switching away. They're one of the few countries that's not Russia or, Russia adjacent that's still using 5.45. But that's mostly because of the economics. The whole 5.45 versus 5.56 thing, I'll just say this. In America, 5.56 is the way to go if you're a shooter, because ammo will always be available, and you get lots of different loadings, types, calibers, hunting rounds, target rounds. You look at 5.45, even before recent events, you did not have near as many options. And if you do get some 5.45 target stuff, it's as expensive as 5.56. That's not arguing that objectively, in the world, one's better. That's saying in America, 5.56 is a more logical choice. That said, I'm not selling my 5.45 guns. I really like it. It's a fun caliber, but I mostly have it for historical reasons, if that makes sense. If I just wanted a small caliber shooter, I would go 5.56. And I will admit, 7.62 by 39 versus one of the 22 caliber bore guns, they do shoot a lot different in the Kalashnikov. While they do heat up faster, they're a lot flatter shooting, more controllable, and more accurate. The AK kind of has a reputation for not being the most accurate in the world, and while some of that is the long stroke gas piston and the looser tolerances, some of it's just the 7.60 by 39 caliber. It has its benefits for sure, but it's not a long-range precision round, whereas either 5.45 or 5.56, they're a higher velocity, skinnier, longer projectile, which just makes them more aerodynamic. So, prior to shooting this, I expect it to be at least somewhat more accurate than a WASR-10. On the other hand, sample size of 1. For really good information, you really have to test 5-10 guns, and they only have the money for that. But we can take her out, have some fun, plink with it in the heat, and we'll do that in the next video. I just wish I had more than one mag to try, frankly. But, c'est la vie, guys. But you asked, here it is, the review, the preview. I can't really give you much in the way of military history for the Select Fire version, because it was mostly something that Romania has done for export. I don't know how many clients or customers they've had. There was also a Draco, also called the Champion 2007, I believe, pistol, that was in 223 5.56. I actually owned one a long time ago, and it was threaded 14 by 1. But it had the kind of the same mag situation as these do. It'll be interesting to see where these go, how many really come in, how they sell, how Century supports them, and if they bring in more mags. And Century, if you're going to do more, please give us a cleaning rod. It's a small thing, but it really matters. You know, back in the day when you bought a WASR-10, you got 2 mags, mag pouch, bayonet, sling, cleaning kit for the buttstock. Of course, this one doesn't have a hole in it. Oiler, some other random stuff sometimes. Sometimes they'd even throw in a free set-me bayonet for some reason. Those were the days. Of course, they did come in a somewhat crappier box, so yay, nicer box, I guess. And as far as pricing, yeah, that could be another Achilles heel. While these aren't more expensive than the competition, they're not really cheaper than the WBP offering. They're about $1,200 brand new retail. I guess the Pioneer 5.56s are slightly cheaper. Of course, then again, the SAM 5 is more expensive, and the SLR 106 has not been imported in a long time, and those are quite expensive now. So it's cheaper than those. It's kind of hanging in there with the WBP, maybe $100 cheaper. The barrel is a couple $100 more. The mini barrel pistol is about $100 less. So you know it's kind of hanging right in there. And of course, the Zastava, the M90 rifle is about this price, maybe a little less on sale. The M85 from Zastava, the pistol, it's a little bit less than even that. But then again, with the brace situation, it's kind of hard to do right now. And I will say that too is with the brace thing, hopefully it won't stand, but as long as it does kind of give more credence to rifles, carbines versus pistols than we used to have. The benefit to a pistol is it can be imported without compliance parts. The benefit to the way Century did the compliance parts on this gun, you could change these out for other parts if you wanted. The only one that might be a bit of a pain is the gas piston. Typically Century will have a US mag, but I guess they didn't have a mag pole or equivalent mag that would fit this, so they had to go with the import mag. So this is clear to use any mags in. It doesn't rely on magazine parts. But that's about all I can think of, guys. We will be back with part 2 pretty soon. Hopefully we do catch that one day where we're not baking out in the sun too bad. Go from there. If you have any questions, please post them below and we'll try our best to answer them. If you have any comments, definitely post them, especially if you own one of these yourself. Please let us know your experiences. Shooting, mag compatibility, etc. Accuracy, definitely. And again, if you'd like to help support us, check out the link to Patreon. It's actually thanks to Patreons that we not only really decided we needed to get this gun, but also were able to afford buying it. Patreon support pretty much funded picking this up, so if you'd like to try other guns, it definitely helps. Even if not, we understand. It is, you know, tight for a lot of people right now. You, me included. Anywho, this is Misha, and also on behalf of Fox and Jero and the rest, we'll catch you very soon next time. Thanks, guys. Hobo. Hello, Hobo. Hobo. Peanut.